Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today we are talking about Enola Holmes 3, a new movie out on Netflix right now. And in Enola Holmes 3, it deals with Enola Holmes, who is trying to get ready to get married to the Lord Tewkesbury when Sherlock, her brother, goes missing. Sherlock Holmes, the greatest detective in the world, goes missing, and now she has to find out where he is. Enter stupid conspiracy thing. Boom, we have a movie. Now, to get things started, first and foremost, what I like about the movie. The visual aesthetics are pleasing. When you're dealing with 19th century Victorian era aristocratic world, this is a very visually pleasing look and aesthetic in movie. The costumes at the time were rich, the buildings were magnificent. You know, when you film a movie set during that era about the aristocracy, people, the aristocrats, it's a visually appealing look. The movie also takes place in Malta. I think it was also filmed there. I'm not entirely certain. But Malta, is a beautiful country, and it just looks great. The location looks great. The acting, for the most part, is fine. There is one performance that I will eventually get into that I did not like, but for the most part, I do really like the acting. Millie Bobby Brown as Enola. She's fun. Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes. He should just have his own Sherlock Holmes movie, okay? Because Cavill is just a great idea for a Sherlock Holmes. The guy would absolutely nail it on his own. However, unfortunately, his only Sherlock Holmes performances have been in this movie that have severely underutilized him. Now, let's get into the problems I have with the movie. Namely, one huge issue I have with this film is its story. From my understanding, this is not actually based on one of the Enola Holmes books. It's an original story. However, even if the Enola Holmes books are good, which I don't know, I have not read them, I'm pretty sure fans probably aren't very happy with this movie. As a matter of fact, just looking at its audience scores, yeah. Rather than actually trying to craft a compelling, mystery with Enola trying to find her older brother Sherlock, instead this movie uses it just to create propaganda, to create a message focused film instead of a compelling mystery thriller. Instead of focusing on where is Sherlock Holmes, instead the movie focuses on British imperialism was bad. It's imperialism. You're not going to create the world's largest empire in history without committing a few crimes against humanity. It's bound to happen no matter what. And, the stuff that they focus on, it's more the spoils of war. That's not really what they're focusing on. It's just buried treasure, out of all things. Buried treasure. Every boy dreams of finding buried treasure in their backyard. How is that a terrible thing? I mean, like, I know how they got that gold. That was slightly messed up, but compared to other things that I know occurred during British imperialism, that's mild. I'm sorry, but taking a bunch of gold is nothing compared to, throwing a bunch of Indians down a well and just gunning them down with your rifles. That's not the same thing. Another thing you're gonna hear me complain about this movie's depiction of Professor Moriarty. I absolutely hate the Enola Holmes version of Moriarty. This is not the Moriarty that was created by, uh, if I remember correctly, he was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes. Moriarty, as Conan Doyle wrote him, was methodical. He was methodical, highly intelligent, and knew his way around the law. It took Sherlock in the books committing suicide by, grabbing Moriarty and jumping off a cliff with him to put an end to Moriarty's reign of terror. Because no matter what Sherlock did, he just could not properly be Moriarty. What do we have in Enola Holmes? We have a gender swapped, race swapped character that whines and cries about how oppressed she is. Which, don't get me wrong, women's rights back in Britain at the time were not that great. She hardly shows any of the methodical elements of Moriarty, and on top of that, she got captured in the last Enola Holmes movie. Moriarty could never be caught. This is not Moriarty at all. This is a wannabe Moriarty. Moriarty was a character who never complained about being oppressed or anything like that. On top of that, if this movie were realistic at all, this Moriarty would never be in the position of power that she's in. She would never be a professor. She would never have been a lady. She would never have had a chance. Oh boy. Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. Another thing worth complaining about: lack of good humor. Now, to give it some credit, the first Enola Holmes actually had some nice humor in it occasionally. It did occasionally make me chuckle, laugh a little bit, but never like bust my gut or anything like that. In this movie, it's a little different. In this movie, there's hardly a good joke at all, which is kind of sad. Because, like I said, at least the first movie had a little bit of good humor in it. Not this one. And lastly, the whole mystery thing is boring. Again, like I explained earlier, rather than telling a good story, they focused on propaganda. And because of this, it severely, negatively hurted the mystery element to it. I was able to guess just about everything in the movie. The fact that Moriarty was going to be back, the fact that they were trying to find something, and when, they found out what it is they're looking for, where it's at, I correctly guessed everything. I should not have been able to have done that. So guys, at the end of the day, Enola Holmes 3, I'm done with these movies. I'm done. I tried. I gave it 3 chances. If they make a 4th one, I'm just going to ignore it. Because at the end of the day, instead of focusing on making a good mystery thriller, they're focusing on stupid politics with stupid, villains that don't even resemble the villains in the original books, other characters that are just annoying, a mystery element to it that's lacking. I can, safely say there are a few redeeming qualities to it, but what redeeming qualities it has do not fix the issues that it has. I'm going to give Enola Holmes 3 a 3. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And please don't forget I also have a secondary channel where you do gaming content. Please go check it out. As per usual, please remember, the Brodetsky will return.